What's up, guys? This is going to be a deck profile for goats. I know there's a lot of chaos control decks that are out there, so I decided to show you guys another one for the goat book so that you guys can be ready for any goat tournaments that are coming up. Shout outs to Collectibles Exchange. They are going to have a goat tournament on the 25th of this week, so basically in 3 days, there's going to be a Nintendo Switch tournament for goats. So a lot of people should be there for goats. Goats will also that place will also be hosting a GGP. If you guys don't know what that is, it's the Goat Grand Prix tournament that is pretty much famous, I guess. It's a pretty big tournament sponsored by the Goat community. So if you guys go on the goatformer.com, GGP Grand Prix is going to be happening at Collectibles Exchange. You heard it from me first, so yeah, just be on the lookout for that one, and I should be there as well. So I decided to play Chaos Control at Table 1 Gaming. I got second, losing out just to Chaos Turbo, but it was very close. I did get him down to game 3, and it was a very back and forth. So we're going to go into the list real quick. I made this on the fly, and I want to go into each of my card choices. So I played the 2 Dekoichi in the main deck. Dekoichi, I only played 2 because I don't want to open up with too many of this. Because it does require a turn to set up and draw. I just want to open up with only 1 and then resolve 1 for the whole game, as opposed to later in the game. Sangan, best card in the deck because you can search for Sinister Serpent. But in some situations when you're playing the mirror match, such as Chaos Control, and they use the Thousand Eyes Restrict to steal the Sangan that's set, the Sangan gets equipped to the Thousand Eyes Restrict, and if you can find a way to deal with Thousand Eyes Restrict, then you can essentially find a Tsukuyomi. That's why I only side deck or main deck the 1 copy. These are the 2 primary targets for the Sangan. Another target you can go into is the Spy. Some lists have decided to play only the 2 spies, but I find that feels kind of wrong. I want to play 2 copies or 3 copies because I want to see it, and it is a big wall to wall off against Bolter. Especially since people are going to be anticipating a Dekoichi set or a Sinister set or a Sangan set. It's a surprise factor to set this against a Bolter, and then they attack into it, and then this ends up resolving, and then stonewalling the whole game until you're able to find a way. This does play a secret tech that I like in my particular list, and it's going to be Zaborg. I love Zaborg in this deck, especially because it's a 1 tribute monster, so you can theoretically use Metamorphosis to sack one of your Goat tokens. And then by sacking your Goat token, you can go into Thousand Eyes Restrict, steal a monster, attack with a Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then tribute some for Zaborg, so you can pop another monster. So it does so much damage. And then it's also a level 5 monster, so if you want to save the Metamorphosis, you can go into Bolter with this guy. So Bolter is a dark monster, and this is a light monster, so the Chaos Control package is here. Very slept on card. I don't know why people don't play this as much. I actually really like Zaborg in this meta, or just any Goat meta, and it does so much, I would say. But yeah, those are the monsters. There's more monsters. You can't forget the Tribe, the 2 Moths. Tribe's great. There's no really. So to pair out the Quadrinity, you also have the Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons also a tribute fodder too. I do side deck Soul Exchange because Soul Exchange actually deals with face down monsters, which is why I don't like Brain Control as much in this particular build, where Brain Control only steals up face up monsters. With Soul Exchange, you can just tribute any monster that's face up or face down, and then you can tribute some for these guys, and then metamorphosis them away is the idea. Chaos package is just going to be the 2 Sorks and the BLS. I don't really like 3 Sorks in the build. Even though Sork does put a lot of damage on board, I don't want to clump with too many of them, so that's the monsters, and then 1 breaker. Yeah, that's not much to say. I think it's 5, 10, 15, 20 monsters, so pretty balanced deck list, I would say. Let's go into the spells. Spells I play the MST. You have to play it. Snatch, Heavy, Quadrinity, Charity, Book. Yeah, you've seen this before. So that's not much to say. I do love this little package here. Because you're playing Chaos Control, that means your ceiling is higher as opposed to a Chaos Turbo list. Chaos Turbo list doesn't play this package, whereas in Chaos Control it does. And it pretty much opens the ceiling. Being able to go into a level 6, yeah, if you go Chaos Sorcerer and then you're able to banish a card, you can use the Metamorphosis on the Sorcerer and go into Dark Fire Dragon, Dark Fire Dragon Knight. Basically, if you're able to do battle damage to that card, you can banish 3 cards out of your opponent's graveyard, and then so that disrupts the Chaos Turbo mirror, Chaos Turbo matchup. 2 knocks, I forgot to mention that. Not very important. Very minimal traps. 1 Book of Moon, and then the traps are just 2 Death Shoot, it's good for Chaos Turbo since it is the meta deck. If it wasn't a meta deck, then I'd probably take this out for a Saku or something. One Mirror Force, one Ring, and one Torrential. So pretty standard 40 card list. Not much to say except for the Zaborg. I would say the Zaborg is a very nice touch to the deck for Chaos Control. All right, let's go into the side deck. I guess you guys want to know about that. I do play the one Smashing Ground. It's just a utility spell card that I can use to clear out Kaiku, or even like a Thousand Eyes Restrict. That's just bothering me. I can just use this, but I hardly ever sided it. I wanted a proactive spell and trap removal, which is No Min of Extermination. Since MST is only at one in this format, I just needed something proactive so that I can do my power plays. So I have to go for this. Sometimes you'll be able to deck them too, so a lot of your opponents are going to be side decking the same cards against you. If it's not a chainable trap card, you can just hit it and then remove all copies and even thin out your own deck. That's a way to thin out your deck too. Very slept on card. The Soul Exchange, as I mentioned before, since you do have the Thunder Dragon as well as the Zabor, you can just tribute off face down monsters and face up monsters. You are going to have to give up your battle phase, but you don't really care for that as long as you're able to hit any monster. So hitting like even a Blade Knight is nice too, so that the Blade Knight doesn't actually do damage to you next turn or take off your flip effect monsters. That's also nice. I actually Soul Exchanged the BLS in the tournament, and that won me the game because they lost their boss monster. Two Sakus. I only side this when I'm playing against Warriors, because Warriors like to pretty much put their whole hand on the board, and so the dust shoot's pretty bad. So I'll side out the dust shoots for these two Sakuretsu armors. Two Mind Control for any of the Chaos matchups where they play Sorcerer. I can just steal it. I can also use this on a Moth and then flip it. You guys know the combo with this. A little tech I like to try is the Spell Shield. I side this for games 2 and 3 because people are going to be siding this card against me. So I want to have like more outs to targeting spell cards. This also stops Snatch Steal as well. And so this is really good. And then some situations you want to keep a spell in your hand so that you can negate spell and trap removal. But that's really rare. I just typically size games 2 and 3 to negate Mind Control. Two Bottomless, Slept On card. I like this card against people who side deck Kaiku against me. Kaiku is one of those cards that people use, but I don't know. I don't think Kaiku is that much of a threat. But it's mostly for chaos matchups because you want to give them shut off a light or dark from going to the graveyard that has 1500 more attack. So I said it when I only go first against those matchups. And then the two Compulsory, I like Compulsory because you can hit Thousand Eyes Restrict, so that this is a 1-for-1. In the tournament, I actually just cited 1 for when I wanted to protect my monsters. So this is good against No Mana Crossout. If they were to set my monster and then they try to knock it, I just go Compulse it. That's another reason why I like this card too in the side deck, in case people side knock for me. I do have the 3 Spies and then the 2 Dekoichis to negate the knock. And then the 1 Decree because there was 1 space left, and I decided to go for Decree. But you can probably play 2 Decree. In the future, I'd probably cut the Smashing Ground for the 2nd Decree. Decree was actually really good if I was able to resolve it. A lot of the time, people breakered it. But if they didn't have Breaker, then this card's really good against Chaos Turbo, as you are able to negate Raigeki Breaks and anything like Raigeki Break. Extra deck's pretty standard. As long as you have 3,000 Eyes Restrict, you're pretty much golden for the most part. Because you're able to generate +1s by just stealing monsters. Yep. And then the second best one is probably going to be Dark Bolter. I do play 2 copies of it. Probably shouldn't, but it just helped a lot. He doesn't negate Snatch Steal, which is unfortunate, but at least he's able to make Sinister Serpent like not work anymore. Fiend Skull Dragon was the choice that I would have made instead of Bolter, but most of the time I went to Bolter. And the other cards are Reaper of the Nightmare. You do need this card, but I didn't come up in the tournament, but you do need this card in case you don't want to die to a BLS. So it pretty much forces your opponent to use BLS to banish it, as opposed to attacking your life points directly. Since BLS doesn't pierce, so putting this in defense mode so that you can not die to BLS's attack is the idea. And then we have our Fabled Dark Blade, the Dragon Knight, which is a really cool card. Really good for the Chaos matchups where you can just banish cards out of your opponent's graveyard so that they can't do anything to you. Ryu Senshi never made it, but there was times where I could have made it. Really cool effect because it can't be targeted by spells, and it also negates any normal trap card, like Ring of Destruction or something. But you have to pay 1,000. And the other ones just don't matter that much. Dragonis comes up with the Sangan plays, but that's it. You can use Gatling Dragon with BLS. I never made these two. at all. It is a light monster that can go, so if I go sorcerer into this guy, I just block off 3 spells, but it'll never come out. So that's the extra deck. My main matchup for the tournament, I played Reasoning Gate. 2-0'd it really fast. Reasoning Gate is a deck that relies on all the combo pieces to resolve. And so, yeah, this one played Jinzo and limiter removal, so it wasn't too great. Round 2, I played against, what did I play round 2? I played against Warriors. Warrior Flip, I think it was. So I 2-0'd that one as well. And then I played against Chaos Turbo in round 3. 2-1. I actually lost to it 1-2. Um, the guy actually was a really cool guy. He actually taught me how to side deck for this matchup. So if you're side decking for against Chaos Turbo or even Chaos Control, side out the Delinquent Duo because you're only gonna hit cards that like Thunder Dragon out of their hand most of the time, or Sinister. So definitely side out this card against Chaos Turbo. I might even consider side decking it in the future as opposed to main decking it. And then the last round I played against Chaos Control was a mirror match. It was a 2-1 victory, I believe it was. So really good matchups. Or maybe it was 2-0 actually, because I don't remember losing one game against it. So not entirely sure, but I was able to win the game against them so as well. So I ended up going second place. I got this cool little coin. Let me show you guys what it is. So here it is. The Table 1 Gaming gives out these little coins that you can redeem for like bigger prizing. So I've been keeping them, but you know, in order to get good prizing, you have to have gold coins. So once you're able to redeem the gold coins, you're able to get free boxes. So they have a little reward system going on for you to be loyal to them, which is kind of cool. I actually like this. It's kind of weighted a little bit, so it actually has some weight to it. So like you guys can hear it. Yeah, so it's not one of those cheap coins. It's actually a pretty nice little reward coin that I use, and it has the word second place in it, so it feels kind of nice. But anyways, yeah, that was my deck profile for Goat. Definitely join every Tuesday at 7:30, and hope to see you guys there in the future. All right, peace out, guys.